overview. My son Lewis is heading off and leaving home, and before he does that he was picking 5 mountains to climb in the 5 weeks before he heads off for his new life, and we'd done 4 of them and we were left with one final mountain to do. And what a mountain this was going to be. As you can probably see from this footage, he'd chosen Suilven, which was in the northwest of Scotland, quite far from home. And in addition to doing Suilven, he'd also requested to camp on the top of it. However, it wasn't going to be easy. It was going to be the hottest day of the year with some really, really steep climbs. So join us on this journey to see if we made it to the 5th and final summit. Whoa, midgies. So this is it. This is the final peak. This is the final challenge. This is the 5th one that Lewis picked. And what a mountain. Hopefully you'll have seen some epic drone shots or some sort of epic footage at the start. I've not taken that footage yet because we've arrived. It's quite late. It's 10 o'clock and we've been driving since about 5:30. It's Friday night. And as I said, so glad that Lewis chose this. You'll have seen the previous 4 mountains that he chose, but this is special. It needs no introduction. And to make it even better, we've hit the jackpot with the weather. It's going to be warm. We're actually going to be, so the plan is, we're going to go to Suilven. We're hopefully going to hike there tomorrow. We're going to take our tents up and we're hopefully going to do a camp, not on the summit, but just off the summit if that spot's free. And I also want to go to the other top, the east top. But for now, these midges are eating me alive. I'm going to take some pictures and take some footage, and hopefully you'll see some pictures now and then you'll cut to me hopefully in the morning heading in to Suilven, because it's a long way and the temperature is to be 28 or 29 degrees tomorrow, so it's not going to be easy. Might not make it. Let's see. Right, you might not see me because I'll be eaten by these blooming midges. Right, let's take some pictures. After taking some photographs the night before, we got back to the van and had an early night. It was going to be an early start to try and avoid the heat of the day, and we were soon on our way with Suilven filling our views. It was good to get away, and we had 4 main objectives that I'll talk about in a wee while, but things were looking good and we were keen to get going and up the hill. Well, good morning, I'm still here. I didn't get devoured, well I did get devoured by midges, but managed to escape them last night. I think that was the last time I was speaking to you. So yeah, we've been on the go for about 45 minutes and it's going to take us about 4 hours I think to get in, but the big test is when we get to the base of the mountain, because it just goes from this kind of rolling moorland to vertical. So we're just going to take our time. We've left early, it's not even 9 o'clock yet. And the reason for that is just the heat. As I said, it's now saying it might touch 30 degrees in the valleys. So yeah, we're going to get going. There's a few things I want to tell you about, but we'll do that in the next piece of camera. And the camera's about to fall over and Lewis is holding it in place. So let's get going. There's also a nice breeze. Hold on. Oh, right, a wee stop here. Oh, it's quite nice taking the weight off my back. So, first of all, I forgot to mention to apologise. You know it's going to be a roasty toasty day when we've got our shorts on. So I do apologise for the peely wally legs, but it's needed. Yeah, we're along the path. We've gone past the bothy. Stay tuned to the end. I'll talk a bit about the bothy. You can't actually see it from the path, which I was surprised about, but anyway, yeah, we're going to start heading in. We're probably about halfway in terms of distance. We've done 5.3 kilometres and it's 10 to get to the top, and ascent we're at 123 metres, so we've still got about 600 metres to go. That's the tough part, but yeah, there's a few things that I want to talk about. One is I want to get a view up here that I'll talk about, a view I've never had. I want to get a photograph up here, and again, if you watch the videos, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. More of that later. And I want to try and get to the eastern summit. So those 3 things. And of course, the 4th thing is to get to the summit to complete Lewis's mountain challenge. So yeah, let's bring you back. Probably bring you back. There's some lock-ins at the base of the climb where we'll need to fill up all our water, which will make the packs more heavy. But hey ho, we'll bring you back later. So this was really tough going, even though we'd left early to try and avoid the midday heat. It was still pretty warm, and we hadn't even reached the steep section yet. So on we headed, with the mountain looking steeper and steeper and it getting hotter and hotter. But there was one thing that was going to cool us down. Oh right. We've reached the lock-ins before the steep climb. I mean, Suilven's just behind us now, it's all uphill. Lewis has decided he's braver than me, he's gone for a wee dip. I've just been filling all the water bottles up to get as much water as we can. It does mean the backpacks will be heavier for the steep climb, but we'll need that water when we're up there. How's the water, Lewis?
Cold.
Wet, he says, it's wet. And cold. But yeah, so we're at just under 300 metres and the summit's at 730, so another 430 metres to go. But it's lovely, it's absolutely glorious. I'm just really hoping that we can get this camp spot. There's one specific one that I want, which is usually quite popular, but yeah, once we're here, I'll report back once we're heading up the steep part. That look right there was me changing my mind. I was going straight in that water. I realised how warm it was, and I was a bit jealous of Lewis being in there, so I headed straight in, and it was just what I was needing. I was feeling rejuvenated and ready for the climb ahead after having this dip and having been forced in by my son. But it was lovely, lovely and cool. Right, the clegs are out. Hopefully you've just seen that this one here forced me into the water, didn't you, Lewis?
No, it's forced.
Yeah, and not to be outdone, I thought I'm going to get my head under and go for a swim. So you can see his hair's nice and dry. He didn't put his head under, so it doesn't count as a swim. But that was really nice. I'm so glad that you got me in there, Lou. So we're refreshed and we're ready to go and tackle this. We've got slightly wet shorts, but they will dry pretty quick, I'm sure. So shall we head to the top, Lou? We'll report back halfway up, okay? Next up was the crux of the day. It was this big steep pool up the face of Suilven to the Meadhonach. If we got to the Meadhonach, we'd be okay. Right, not done too many bits to camera. Coming up the steep part, we're right up the face of Suilven, and it takes you up to the Meadhonach, which is just behind me. I don't know if we can make it out up there. So we've almost done it. We knew it was going to be hard, but this is the first time I've stopped and I've not been looking at my feet or facing the slope. And look at this. Look at that view. I think this is where the views disappeared when me and Jerry did it. But what a view. There's Cwniag over there in the middle of the picture, and the loch we were swimming in down yonder, and there's the boss. How you feeling, Lou?
Fine.
Fine, how are you feeling? Fine. So let's go, I'll bring you back at camp. So I'm not going to lie, this climb up was really, really tough in the heat, but we just kept our heads down and plodded on, and we eventually made the Meadhonach, and we knew from here on in it was going to be easier for us. Oh, right, here we are. We've made it to the Meadhonach and the famous dike or wall, which I think was actually just built for the sake of being built. I think the landowners just said to their paupers, just go up there, we'll allow you to stay on our land, we'll give you food if you just go and build the wall. And it's like a wall, like, I don't know if it dissects the boundary between two landowners or not, but I suppose back in the days when Britain was an empire and all that, there was plenty of money kicking about, obviously. But yeah, it's just a big wall for no real sake. So anyway, we'll be back down here later on when we go and try and recreate the photo, which I'll talk about later. Just having a wee break before a couple of more rises to the camp spot. By this time it was getting closer to midday and the heat was building, but we were certainly glad when we reached the pitch. And because we had left early, we were some of the first on the mountain and there was nobody else here, so we got our pick of the best spots. So we set about getting the tents up so we could then relax when the heat of the day hit us. All right, As you can see, we've got the tents up now, and what a spot this is. This is the spot I was hoping for. Behind you is the actual summit, but we'll go there later on. We've not done it, we've not been up there yet, so we've not completed the 5 mountain challenge yet, but tell you what, we're both glad to be to be up here now and have the tent set up, because it is some pull. It's steep, even with just day packs on. It's a long walk in, and it's a steep pull up to the Meadhonach and then up here. But what a day! I mean, it's almost too warm. I've just got this on now. If I had to take my gilet off, Lewis has been sat with his shirt off. It's just almost. It's not often you get a breezy conditions and warm breezy conditions in Scotland. So I think there is inversion conditions, and it's to stay kind of warm overnight. So as long as the breeze stays, we'll be fine. But behind me there, that's the view. That's one of the things ticked off. I've never seen that view over to the eastern summit of Suilven. If you watch my videos, you'll have seen when me and Jerry came up, stayed at the Bothy, came in, it clagged in at the last minute. Never got the view, and then when I came up for the photograph, again, we'll come on to that later on. Video, you've never got that view either, but I'll tell you what, it's been worth the wait. Absolutely fabulous. But anyway, we're just chilling out, having a wee snooze and chilling out. It's just after 2 PM, so we've got loads of time now that we're up here. So a wee coffee, bite to eat, and we'll bring you back later on. With the heat rising, we just chilled by the tent. Really, it was actually quite nice. As I'll say later on, there was a wee breeze, and it was a warm breeze, so we just chilled. And we were kind of waiting for the temperature to drop a wee while, so we spent a bit of time at camp, and as the afternoon wore on, we eventually decided to make a move for the eastern top. Right, that's us getting ready to go. We're going to head over to the peak. In fact, it'd be better spinning you around and showing you that we're going this way. Yeah, over to the eastern top if we can. We're not sure. It's a scramble. If it's looking a bit dodgy, we'll certainly not do it, but we're going to try and get to the top, and then we're going to try and recreate the photo, or find the photo spot, the exact spot. I think I found it, or area near to it in the last video, but I'll explain all when we get over there. But the first objective is to get to the summit of these top. We've still not been to complete the 5 mountain mission yet. We're going to leave that for sunset, but for now, shoes on, wee bag packed, and over to the scramble. So with the temperature lowering just a little bit, we headed off towards summit of the east top of Suilven. Trying to get there. Let's go. I'm just scrambling onto the final peak by myself. Lewis couldn't be bothered. I didn't fancy it, so he's just waiting up on the middle peak there, but I can show you where I'm going. Just up there, a bit of scrambling up. So yeah, wish me luck. Bring you back in a wee while. Let's go. Well, that's me at the start of the scramble now. Leaving the poles here, and it's straight up here, so wish me luck. Let's go. So up ahead, and it probably was a grade 2 or a grade 3 in places, and it was short, but yeah, it's exposed, and when you're so far away from any sort of help and when you're by yourself, I always think these scrambles and climbs take on a slightly more serious note, so I was being super careful. Oh, well, that last bit was a bit sketchy. A few tricky moves. There was a wee bit of tat in place which showed me the way. There's a bit of an exposed route. Nothing too difficult, but you wouldn't want to slip. Anyway, I think I'm just about there. Woo! Let's go. Yeehaw! So after making it up the scramble, it was a nice easy walk along the ridge to get to the eastern summit. Meadhonach, maybe, I don't know how you pronounce it, but there was a wee summit cairn, and it was kind of nice being up there, knowing that in comparison to the main summit, less people visit this one. It's a lovely, lovely spot, as you'll see. But anyway, here's me at the summit. Well, here I am on the eastern top of Suilven. What a place! It's just. Oh, how many times am I going to say what a place and how beautiful it is? But this is special, and the views back that way are just amazing as well. So that's two of the things done, the view over here and getting here. The next thing on the list is to try and replicate a photo that my dad gave me of him as a young man. Again, you'll have seen this if you watch my videos. I'll put a link in the description below of my trip up here to try and replicate that just after he passed 7 months ago. But the weather wasn't great. Today we've got the weather and I've got my son as well, which it's going to be special. So we're going to try and find the spot again on the way down, providing I can scramble back down safely. And then, yeah, we'll see if we can get that spot, and I'll explain more when we're down there. And then back to the tent. Then we'll only have one more thing to do, and that's to complete the 5 mountain challenge. But what a place this is, eh? What a place. Having sat for quite some time on the summit of the eastern top, it was time to head back. I knew Lewis was waiting for me, so I headed back with a bit of trepidation because I still had that down climb to go before I was back on safe ground. That was pretty cool, going up to the eastern top there, but I really need to pay attention. The climbing up was grade 2, grade 3, a few exposed bits, so I just need to be super careful reversing it. It's always more tricky descending and down climbing as opposed to going up, so yeah, time to make a move. Oh, there's Lewis's way over yonder. Anyway, down we go. Woohoo! Nearly down. I think I came down an easier way than I went up. Anyway, that sometimes happens. Yeah, I'm just going to head down here and then get my poles and then back over there. Right, bring you back later. You'll be glad to hear that I made it down okay and safely back to Lewis. Finished. I'm now really parched. It's quite a big drop down there. It took a bit of time to get backwards and forwards back to Lewis, but anyway, I was back with Lewis, and now we were looking for the photograph, or the spot where the photograph of my dad was taken all those years ago. We reckon it's probably early to mid 60s that it was taken, and I had a kind of good idea of where it was taken from my last visit. Again, a link to that video in the description below. So yeah, we found the spot after stopping a few times, and yeah, took a few photographs. It was actually quite difficult to get exactly the same position, because when it was so sunny it was hard to see the exact picture on the back of the camera. It was quite small. So, but I think we did an alright job, and I'm pretty sure we were in the right position. So here's just the photographs of me and Lou at the same spot. I think we could have been a bit lower with the camera and a bit to the left, but hey ho, that's it. I hope they're okay. Alright, you can probably see we're back from the eastern peak. In fact, let me spin you around. I'm probably just a silhouette, so I'll spin you around so you can see me. Hopefully this spot here will be able to see me a little bit better. Oh, lovely. So yeah, we well, I went up to the top of the east top. I can't remember the name of it, but anyway, it was fantastic. And scrambling was, well, I think I kind of went up maybe not the way I was meant to. There was abseil points and what have you. So anyway, we then came down and we tried to replicate the photo of my dad, and we were both agreed that we were in the right spot. But it's kind of hard to get the I don't know, the camera to exactly the same position as what we thought he was in, if it was the same spot. But anyway, that was quite a nice thing to do. Go back and check that video out, and it explains it in a lot more detail. That was done not long after, maybe in the weeks following his passing. So it's a special place. He loved coming up here. In his earlier years, it was one of his favourite places. He used to always talk about Loch and what have you. So a special place. So that's us done. Anyway, back to the task in hand. That's us done 3 of the 4 things that we set out to do. One was that view, one was getting to that view, one was finding the view from there back to the main top of Suilven. And all that remains now is for us to go and climb the final 100 metres or so up to the top of Suilven, so we can finish Lewis's mountain challenge. So we'll be heading up there shortly as the sun sets, but this is just wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. What a place. And it's still roasting. It must be 20, 21, 22 degrees. They did say the high tops would remain warm above an inversion, so that's certainly the case. We were moaning about it on the way up, but now that we're up here and there's a breeze, it's just perfect. And a warm breeze as well. It's not often you can get a nice breeze in Scotland that's warm, especially on the top of a mountain. Anyway, next time you'll see me, we'll be heading up to complete the challenge. So with the sun starting to lower towards the horizon, we decided to head on up to the main summit of Suilven and complete Lewis's 5 mountain challenge. What an evening for it. Well, that's us on the summit here, main summit of Suilven, and you can see the sun starting to lower. Well done, Lewis. That's us completed the 5, and what a place to complete it on. And the views are just stunning. It's just amazing. It's more of a breeze up here. It's actually, in fact, it's blowing a hula. You probably can't see me, but there's quite a few people up here. Just met a German couple, and I'm kind of glad we're camped where we are, because it's given us a bit of. I've not been able to talk to the camera without feeling too embarrassed. I think up here I would have been really quite reluctant to get the camera out, but it's beautiful. The sun's starting to head down over there, so we'll head back to camp now and just chill, and I'll probably bring you back. I'll maybe do a wee bit to camera just overlooking the camp spot, see if we can get some pictures and stuff, but it's absolutely stunning. What a place. So I was actually hoping to head slightly down the mountain to get a view back inland as the sun was setting, so me and Lewis descended down the mountain a bit further, and I set up a spot to get some footage and some photographs as the sun lowered. It was a rather special evening. The wind's picking up a wee bit now. It's forecast to be up to 30 mile an hour winds by morning, so yeah, I think I'm just going to hit the hay and I'll bring you back. Maybe at sunrise, maybe afterwards. We'll see. I might poke my head out and see if anything's happening, but for now, time for bed. Well, Good morning, it is 4:25. There's about 10 minutes till sunrise, and I've been up doing some time lapse because the sky, I popped my head out about half an hour ago. There's some nice high level clouds, just going a lovely shade of pink over Cwniag into the hills to the north, Arkle, Finehaven, up towards Ben Hope, these sorts of hills. And now it's gone kind of pink down this way, over Stackpolly and Culmore and Culbeg and these sorts of hills. So I'll bring you back at sunrise. For now, I'll take some more time lapse. I relaxed with the camera and just watched the sun rise over the north eastern horizon. It was a special place to be. The sun is now up. It's been lovely actually. Oh, and it's warm. It's been warm overnight. Literally had to sleep without my sleeping bag. Still a lovely breeze though, keeping the beasties off and just keeping the temperature right. But yeah, lovely sunrise. It rose kind of almost northeast, and it's just started to illuminate the hills of Ascent. It's just wonderful. So yeah, I don't know. I go back for a wee snooze now, and I'll bring you back later on. I think that's us packing away. We didn't go for a snooze. Lou was up and keen to get going, so we're now at 5 to 6, and it's, as I said in a minute in the last bit to camera, it is quite warm, but yeah, it's absolutely glorious. The sun's now illuminating the landscape. Couldn't have asked for a better weather window, and we'll come back a bit so you can probably see me. Yeah, I think Lewis, have you enjoyed that? Yeah, he's enjoyed that, so a great way to finish the 5 peak challenge and set Lewis on his way. That's him away to uni now, so who knows, might not see you in any more videos, Lou. who knows. Anyway, so I'm going to end the video here. I don't think you fancy. Yeah, we're just going back the way we came, so yeah, I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this wee series of challenges chosen by Lewis, maybe something a bit different, and what a mountain to finish on. What a mountain to finish on. Good choice, Lou. Anyway, right, see you next week. Stay safe out there. Time for me to head back to the van for a Lawrence sausage and a cup of coffee. We packed away the tents, leaving no trace as always, and felt content that we'd reached our 4 goals, which were reaching both tops, and more importantly the summit to complete Lewis's 5 mountain challenge, but also to recreate that photograph and to get the view. Oh, and if you want to check out my other video which involves staying in the bothy, then see the link in the description below, where I've got a link to that video, as well as the video of me going up the mountain to try and recreate the photo after my father's passing. Anyway, here's the stats. I'm going to shut up now. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time for another adventure.